Hey guys, KevMaster2000 here, and in this video I'm going to show you my Ninja Turtles collection. So, we're going to start off with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan, which is the only Ninja Turtle game that I have. I'd like to get the Out of the Shadows game, but they no longer have it on Xbox Live, and I think you can get it on GameStop, but I don't know. I'd like to get it though, that seems cool. But that's the only Ninja Turtle game that I do have. Next up we have the movies. So here's the DVD version of the first one, second, and the third one. And DVDs are cool. I mean, they'd never work because they're scratched up, but it's cool to have them because they look nice. So there's that. Now, here's the Blu-Rays. And I do like that the disc artwork is well, hold on, it's pizzas. It just makes sense. It's cool. And also here's TMNT, the it's supposed to be the fourth movie of the franchise, even though it's a CG movie and the rest are live action. But as you can tell, it also has pizza disc, so it fits nicely. I don't know. They're not the same pizza. So, okay. So they're all different types of pizza. Although all of them look disgusting except for the pepperoni one. The only thing that should ever go on a pizza is pepperonis and bacon. Next up we have the live action TV show, The Next Mutation, which introduces the female turtle, which for some unknown reason people absolutely hate. I do not know why. They definitely should have a female turtle, since, you know, this day and age, they're all about female empowerment and equal rights and everything, yet they still don't have a female turtle. So what's up with that? Anyway, we have Michael Bay's Ninja Turtle and Out of the Shadows. Oh, and the Out of the Shadows game I mentioned is not related to these movies. They're separate things. I think they're based on the TV show, I think, which we'll show off in a minute. I do not know why, of all people, they chose Johnny Knoxville to voice Leonardo. Very odd choice. Of course, these movies are great. Very much enjoyed them. Raphael is voiced by, and I assume motion captured, by a guy whose name I don't exactly know, but he played Aquaman on Smallville. So, yeah. I don't know who voices Leo in the second one, but it's not Johnny Knoxville. But, hey, Seamus plays Rocksteady there. And, the Arrow is Casey Jones. And, I definitely would say that this movie is way better than the first one, because it's not as dark and serious and grounded or whatever. I definitely enjoy this one a lot more because it's way more fun and how the turtle should be. Okay, what's the problem? There we go. Okay. Now, sadly, I do not have the 80s complete series, but I do have the 2012 through 2017 series. So let's get started. We have the first and second seasons. This is the only complete season collections that they've ever released. Everything else is in volumes, which this was originally. So here's season 1, all the episodes listed. Season 2, all the episodes listed here. So originally these were separate volumes. So this was Volume 1, Rise of the Turtles. Volume 2, Enter Shredder. Volume 3, Ultimate Showdown. Part 1, or Disc 1, and then Disc 2. So this was the first 3 volumes you can get separately. And then this is Volume 4, 5, and 6, which were called Mutagen Mayhem, The Good, the Bad, and Casey Jones. And then Showdown in Dimension X. There's 2 discs for that. So, yeah. Next up we have Volume 7, 8, and 9, which are all Season 3. So, Volume 7 is called Retreat. And then Volume 8 is Return to NYC. This was the season where they retreated back to April's farmhouse, which, if I remember correctly, is very similar looking to the farmhouse from, what was it, the second live-action movie? The old 90s movie. So this is called Revenge, and just like all the other third volumes of the seasons, it has 2 discs. Next up, we move on to Season 4, which is also 3 volumes. So Season 4 is basically the end of the show. They did a 5th season, which is sort of just... I haven't seen it yet, but from what I understand, it's kind of just a mixture of different storylines that they, I guess, didn't have a chance to do. They wanted to do, but they never found a place to put them in the show. So once the show ended, they did just different... they did a whole season they called Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They made a new intro to separate it from the other seasons, I guess, just to symbolize that this isn't a part of the main canon. This is just separate little storylines that we wanted to do, and just enjoy them. Don't worry about it. I assume. Now, I could be completely wrong whenever I watch it, but that's what I assume. But anyway, here's Season 4, Part 1, or what is this? Volume 10? So it's called Beyond the Known Universe. And this one has 2 discs, which is weird, because usually the third volume of a season has 2 discs, but this is the first volume. And then here's Volume 11, Earth's Last Stand. This was the space season, after Earth was destroyed by the what was it called? Triceratons, I think? I don't remember, it's been a while. But then we have Volume 12, Super Shredder, which has the rest of Season 4, as well as the first few episodes from Season 5. So every episode from Disc 1 is the remaining episodes from Season 4. And the first episode here on Disc 2 is the finale of Season 4. Everything else here is starting Season 5. And then we continue Season 5 with Wanted, Bebop and Rocksteady, and the final chapters. This is Volume 13, 14. Now, this is where it gets confusing. All this is in order. This is perfectly fine and dandy. But this is where it gets kind of confusing and out of order. Now, like I said, these are really just, as the title suggests, they're tales. They're not really part of the canon, I guess. So, I guess it doesn't matter what order you watch them in, but it does annoy me that they're not in order. So, there's Ice Cream Kitty. Oh, I love Ice Cream Kitty. So, this has Wanted, Bebop, and Rocksteady, which is a 3-part episode, I think, right? And it's the final episode. This is the, even though this is called Final Chapters, this is pretty much the final episodes of the show. It is, I think, the 3-part finale that has the 80s Turtles with the new Turtles teaming up to fight the 80s Shredder and all that. And the 80s Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady and all that. So, this is the final episode. Final episodes right here. As well as a bonus episode, which is Lone Rat and Cubs, which is a prequel to the entire show. So, technically, even though this came out first, this was technically volume 13, and this is volume 14 called The Final Chapters. Technically, this should be after this one, because it is the final episodes, as well as it has the prequel. So it makes sense. You watch this, and then once you finish the show, you watch a little prequel that ties it all back together. Makes sense. But for some reason, they call this one the Final Chapters, even though that's not true. But here's this. And what are we doing here, Mr. Disc? So here's this one. Now this has 3 separate stories. Each are about 3 to 4 parts. So we have the Monsters vs. Mutants, which is sort of like the Universal horror style themed episodes with Frankenstein and Dracula. And I think it's like a 3 or 4 parter. Then we have the Samurai, which I think is 3 parts. And then Mutant Apocalypse, which is a Mad Max kind of wasteland, which I think is 4 parts, maybe. They released it as just one long movie on TV. And I really hope that's how they do them in here. I hope they're just like 3 separate movies that you can watch, rather than being multiple episode, part 1, part 2, all that. I hope that they release some in here as a complete movie without any credits or commercial cutoffs or whatever. You know how it always fades to black because there was a commercial. It annoys me that in Transformers Prime they still have that. It's obvious that the first 5 episodes was made as a almost 2-hour long movie, but yet they have the fade to black commercials moments, and they have the credits because it's 5 parts. So there's credits at the end of every episode, and then at the beginning of every episode they say previously on Transformers Prime, and then recap you. But it's obvious that it was made as a movie, as a pilot for the show. Yet for some reason in the series collection, or in the season collection, it's not in there as a movie, and that's annoying. Because it's obvious that it was not made for TV and commercials and everything, because you'll have a scene and then it'll fade to black and then it'll replay what just happened at the end of the scene to catch you up, because there would have been a commercial break. But anyway, I hope that made sense. I don't know, but it makes sense to me if they had these as movies instead of breaking them up as separate parts. But yeah, anyway, I guess they were too lazy to put it in the extra effort. Except for Transformers Prime, I think they did release it as a separate movie on DVD, but for some reason in the season, that's not how it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah.